Let's take a look at the two different ways that we can run data validation templates. The first method I'll show you is running the validation template from the template itself, which allows you to run one template at a time. The second way will be to run a data validation template from a list. For example, we can run from a customer's list a data validation template, and this will mean that all templates that are applicable to that list page will be picked up and run. Let's start with running the data validation template itself.
The first thing I'm going to do is just select my search function. I'm then going to go to Clever Data Validation Templates. And it's just going to be this first option here. So I'm just going to select this first option for customers. And the first thing that you will want to do is just make sure that it is enabled. Looking at the data validation rules at the bottom, we want to make sure that each of these fields matches the filter, and each of these fields must be populated. If they are not populated, then we will receive the error message on the right. So once I'm happy with the way in which this validation template looks, I'm then just going to go to Validate Data, which can be found at the top. I'm then going to select the three dots on the line, and then I'm going to choose Select More. I'm then going to highlight all lines, and then I'm going to select OK. This will then give me a full list of all of my Business Central records that have failed validation. So let's take a look. So you can see the first column will show me the record ID, and in this example it is just the customer record number, and then it will tell me which field has failed to pass validation. Then we have the current field value. So remember, in the previous screen we had set a rule that the VAT registration number must be populated, and in all of these examples the VAT registration is blank. And then in the final field we have an error message, which in this example just states that the VAT registration number must be set.
Now let's move on to running data validation templates from a list page. So I'm going to go to my customers list, and then I'm going to select Actions on the ribbon. And then from there we can do Validate Data. Now if I select that option, that will only validate the line that I've currently highlighted. If I want to validate all records that we can see within the customers list, I instead need to select the three dots on the line, choose Select More, select the first tick box at the top, and highlight all records. I could also apply a filter to this page if I only wanted to validate certain records within the list. Now I'm going to again select Actions, Validate Data, and now it will have gone off and found any available data validation templates for the customers list, which, as you can imagine, is going to be a much quicker and more effective way of working with data validation if you are working with many different templates. So I can go through and check each of the records, as well as any of the error messages that it has found where records have failed to meet the data validation rules. Then we can go into Open Record and make any of the necessary corrections, or we can select Open in Excel if we wish to have a reference back to this list so we know what we need to work on, which you may find easier to view. And so now we've taken a look at both ways of running data validation, either from the template itself or from any list page where you have a template enabled.